Those damn dirty hippies. By God. Oh, shit, I just moved the camera. Move this camera, move that camera. Hey. I'm going to wait till right at 8 p.m. Right at 8. I'm going to go right at 8. We're live on both. Live from Los Angeles. This is Dre's Geek Philosophy. The Monday, July 17th edition. We are smack in the middle of a very busy week. And as usual, you have myself, Dre Cervantes, as your host. To my right, as usual, Pete Malini, the judgmental nerd. Directly in front of me, running the board, taking care of business.
Yes.
Trying to aggravate me at every moment he can. Executive producer, Sam Zia.
Hi.
As expected. We're back on. I didn't throw up a preview today because there is literally too much happening. There are too many things.
Yeah.
There's so much going on in the nerd world. Oh, I forgot to write this down as well. I'm going to write this down right now. Evo also happened. Because this is if you're a nerd, this is either the best or worst week of your life.
It keeps going through this Comic-Con.
Exactly.
Right?
No, it's like a bad 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Our friend of the show, Iceberg, aka Kiet Pham, he went to Las Vegas. There was a big video game tournament over this past weekend in Las Vegas. Big fighting game tournament. If you love Street Fighter or Tekken or King of Fighters or Super Smash Brothers, there was a humongous tournament. The biggest tournament of the year happened there. Wow. And then at the same time in Anaheim, California, if you're a big Disney fan, there was D23. My roommate, he was there at that. He spent the whole weekend there. He actually camped out overnight so he could see that Infinity War footage that everyone's been buzzing about the internet. And then other nerd things, if you love television, there was a new Doctor Who announced. Yeah. I know that's a big deal, especially to you, Mr. Pete Malini. Yeah. You're a big Whovian. Mm-hmm. I know the license plate covering your car. My other car is a TARDIS. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then another big television thing, we have Game of Thrones came back last night. If you love watching murder and incest, Game of Thrones has returned. By God. And then in 2 short days, San Diego Comic-Con, the con to end all cons. The con! The biggest thing. The biggest thing. For all nerds. It just isn't. It's an exhausting week. Yeah. It's exhausting me just talking about it.
Like August can't come soon enough.
Right? Like I remember when all this shit used to be more spaced out.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago, it was Anime Expo. Now, like everything, July is just jam-packed now with all of this nerdity. It's just the month of July, one of the hottest months of the summer, is also full of all this nonsense.
Nerdy nonsense.
It's just I can't even imagine trying to attend all of this stuff.
It's kind of crazy that they D23 came out having the week before Comic-Con. I mean, like, do they normally do something like that?
I feel like a couple, like, because D23, they only do it every 2 years. Yeah. They like to give a little breathing room. That way they have stuff to announce, and boy, did they announce stuff for this past weekend. But, yeah, no, I feel like it's a lot of poor planning.
Yeah. It has been packed full of jam.
It's just, packed full of jam. Raspberry. No, there's only one man who'll give me the raspberry. Lone Star.
Or maybe they're saving money by keeping the cast in town, right?
Honestly, that could be a consideration.
Yeah, right.
Especially for the people at Disney. Since I worked at Disney for a little bit, way back when. Yeah, that could be a consideration. Hey, it's a cost thing. Hey, instead of flying them back and forth, hey, stay in LA, go to Disneyland, relax, and then take a short, 2-hour drive down to deep inside Whale's vagina, California. Agree to disagree. As Romans say. So, there's too much shit going on. Yeah. I feel it's getting more and more expensive to be a nerd than it has in the past.
There's like so many shows,
I don't know how my roommate just came back from D23 earlier today, and I'm like, so he's literally just gonna shower, do his laundry, and then go right back to San Diego in 2 days.
That's nuts.
It is overwhelming. I don't know how people do it. I can't imagine trying to do it. I used to try to do all this. Back when I was a younger man with more money, I used to attempt a lot of these conventions all at once. There was one year where I think I did Anime Expo, and then I did Comic Con. D23 wasn't a thing yet, but oh good God, it's just I can't imagine trying. I remember Anime Expo and Comic Con the same month. I felt that was too much.
Yeah.
And now we have all this stuff.
You know what we kind of need?
What do we need?
We kind of need a documentary where somebody just chases the convention season.
Huh, doesn't that already exist? I feel like that has to exist somewhere.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anybody do it. It's an idea I had a couple years ago, and I just kind of let it go by the wayside. It's something that, honest to God, I think it would be a great idea. Somebody should go around and actually, like, basically give non-nerds a view of what happens at all these different all these different conventions.
It'd be interesting, especially if you get someone like, you know, who's promoting like a book or something, or, you know, who's, you know, an artist alley, a small press, or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. You follow on a couple of people who are going to all these shows, and then you see what the hustle and bustle is.
I have an idea.
You have an idea.
Instead of just like following an artist or a person that made the book, follow the people that are like the 80s celebrities that's their only form of income.
It honestly is. It's sad, and it's sad at the same time.
It's awesome.
Sad and awesome.
I mean, I'm surprised no one's like gone out and made a movie with just those 80s celebrities, because they're just hanging out, right? Like,
right? I'm sure they're down as long as you toss them some money.
Yeah, right.
Help out their bottom line. Help pay some of their travel expenses. I think a lot of times, I swear, it's like there's like they got to make table, they got to make the travel expenses, and after that, then they're making the gravy. You know, poor all the people from the TV shows from the 80s and 90s.
Green Ranger needs extra security, man.
The Green Ranger, yeah, that's right. He almost got killed. That's right.
He needs the money, so why not?
I remember one time going to, I think it was a Wizard World show, and I was walking around, and Lou Gossett Jr. was at the table.
That's right.
And someone walked up to him and was like, "Lou Gossett Jr., what are you doing here? You won an Academy Award."
That's cool. I think that was one of the Wizard World LA shows that I was working, and I remember being very surprised. Like, Lou Gossett Jr. and then across an empty Lori Petty, an empty Lori Petty table, League of Their Own and Tank Girl.
See, that breaks my heart because I had the biggest crush on Tank Girl.
It was only empty as in she wasn't there. Yeah.
She was probably like on the set of Orange is the New Black or something.
No, this was years ago. No, this was way before. This is this show that Pete and I are talking about. This is like 2007. This is at least 10 years ago. Yeah. And I remember like people being annoyed because all these people wanted to see her because Tank Girl, freaking League of Their Own, whatever other stuff that she had done. Like all these people, because I was running what was I doing, security or something? I was doing some sort of nonsensical volunteer job, so I wouldn't have to pay for anything. Yeah. That's our show, a friend of the show, Sean Hornbuckle. He's the one who got me roped into doing that a lot. That's how I got to meet a lot of these B, C, D list celebrities. Yeah. So I got to hang out with Darth Maul all day once. So he was actually really cool. Yeah. Ray Park, a.k.a. Snake Eyes, a.k.a. Toad. No, he had those photos out. People would ask. Hey, a lot of different people like associated with him with different roles. Obviously, most people Darth Maul. Yeah. A lot of people Snake Eyes, and then there's a few people. Hey, it's Toad. Like, really? There's no for, but hey, to each their own.
Yeah, but some of those people they get that second lease because like was it what's his face? They played The Flash back in the 90s TV show. Mm-hmm. He used to be at all those shows, and now he's back on TV.
He's back on TV, man. He kept his head above water long enough, and they made a new Flash show, and now he's Flash's dad.
Yeah. Well, I remember the last time I saw him at a convention, though, he had the Flash banner, and he had Dawson's Creek banner.
What, was he like a dad?
He was Dawson's dad.
The Flash was... Man, there you go. I'm sure there was some money there.
Oh, yeah. It has to be.
Yeah, a lot of people were fans of Dawson. And
that show was pretty big at one point, right?
I've never seen an episode of it. All I know is there's something Dawson, that Vanderbeek dude, he makes fun of himself now on television. Yeah. He makes fun of himself being the guy from Dawson's Creek. And then some guy named Pacey or something. I don't know. That was one of those things that kind of like that flew by the radar.
That was the 90s.
That was the 90s. I think I was too busy watching Buffy.
There you go.
I was watching Buffy and whatever else was of that ilk in that era of the WWB. Back when Michigan J. Frog was the mascot of the WB. Yeah. And you'd have all those late 90s, early 2000s bands conveniently showing up. Hey, look, this band is in Sunnydale.
That's right.
I always thought that was one of the weirdest little tropes of all those like late 90s shows. Yeah. Like, hey, conveniently, this almost not famous. It's like, wait, if any of those shows ever had Nickelback, they are forever they are forever disowned.
Nickelback.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is something I forgot to mention on last week's show. So correct. I don't know if it's more of a correction than a retraction. that another reason you should hate Spider-Man 1 was I posted this on the Facebook page, but for those people who do not go to the Facebook page and only get this via watching this live or on iTunes, the very at the end credits of Spider-Man 1, the very first thing you fucking hear is Chad fucking Kroger singing something about some sort of like, I'm like, is this fucking Nickelback? What the? I immediately went straight to my phone and looked up the soundtrack to Spider-Man 1. Like, it was not Nickelback, but it definitely was the lead singer of Nickelback singing a song, some sort of like the title theme of Spider-Man, something involving a hero. And I was just like, nope, worst Spider-Man movie ever.
Yeah, that right there.
Just having Nickelback involved in your movie. Sorry, you just completely undermined your entire movie.
Spider-Man 3 all of a sudden took a backseat.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3 is like, oh, well, you never know. Maybe he came back and did a song for Spider-Man 3, and we don't know, and we'll never find out.
We'll never find out.
I will never Google that.
Ghost wrote the movie.
So, last night. So, I'm going to start with last night.
Okay.
Game of Thrones came back. Holy fuck. Do you watch the... you don't watch Game of Thrones.
I've never seen an episode of Game of Thrones.
You have not seen Game of Thrones.
No.
Let's pump the brakes here for a second. That's right. I feel like this is a conversation you and I have had privately, but now let's have it publicly.
Yeah.
You have not watched Game of Thrones.
I've never watched Game of Thrones.
Are you not a fantasy sci-fi guy?
Not a fantasy.
So like I think we've discussed like you've never watched Lord of the Rings either, right?
No, I've watched Lord of the Rings.
Oh wait, no, because you were there when I was screaming at the end of Return of the King.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not a fantasy guy. Like, I've seen the Lord of the Rings movies once, and I felt like that was enough. And like,
you're like that was cool. I don't need to see these Hobbit movies.
People talk about like all these like giant 4-hour versions. I'm like, no, I'm good.
you're like, wait, there's more.
Yeah.
There's more walking. As Kevin Smith so deftly skewered in Clerks 2, there's more walking.
Yeah. And then even though it just never caught my attention, it just never like. I think it got really big. And it was like already the second season or so. Yeah,
it was like season 2 where all of a sudden, because I didn't start watching until season 3 personally.
Yeah. And I remember people were talking about it. I'm like, well, this sounds kind of interesting. Or I remember, I don't know. I saw previews for it and it wasn't. Yeah, not for me.
I am not judging you, my friend. No, that is totally okay. I had forgotten that you are not a Game of Thrones guy.
No.
And apparently you are not a fantasy.
Not really.
Guy.
No.
You like to stay grounded in your realistic comic books.
No, not. The way they call it, the sword and sorcery fantasy, like I'm not a big fan of that stuff.
Right, like because you've never been a Dungeons and Dragons guy, or see there you go. That's usually the route for a lot of these people. Yeah. Like I know myself. I played a little D&D back in the day, so that's why I don't mind so much the bards and the wizards and all that fun stuff. That stuff is amusing me. How about you, Mr. Sam Zia? Are you a Game of Thrones guy?
I would say I'm halfway in, halfway out. I've seen whole seasons.
North remembers.
But I always see them out of order. So there are details that it's not like it's hooked me as hard as it has other people for me to want to go and fill the gaps.
See, like you're like me with Doctor Who. I watch Doctor Who out of order, but I feel like I do that for funsies because hey, travel through time. Why can't I travel through the show? Why can't I travel through the show in and out of time whenever I feel like?
That's true.
So I was not. I was not into Game of Thrones at the very beginning. I remember seeing everyone being excited about it. I never got around to actually watching it, even though I had HBO most of the time that it's been on, or I've had access to watching it. But I never personally really got into it until I want to say it was like season. It might have been after season 3. I watched all of one. I marathoned 1, 2, and 3, all right before season 4 started. Okay, that's how it happened. I was one of my coworkers when I was working at Disney was telling me, dude, you gotta watch it. So there was like one weekend where like I have time. I have HBO on demand. Let's watch the first one. I'm like, oh, the brother and sister are fucking each other. Well then, and they shoved that little boy off the tower. Holy fuck, this is a show. Things are happening. Hey, they're using the F word. I like that they use fuck.
There's a wang.
And
There are many wangs.
there's an equal amount of boobs and dicks. They do not skirt around it. This is like the anti-toy. And I've heard that the author himself, he's kind of like the anti-J.R.R. Tolkien, the guy who wrote all the Lord of the Rings. He's like the anti him. I can't say that name. Sorry, I'm not nerdy enough. But yeah, the show itself, it's insane. It is just out of control. It is just like the catchphrase in the game, the Game of Thrones: you win or you die. And then the thing I've always said about Game of Thrones is like, don't get attached to anyone. And if anyone is like really, really good or pure, they're probably gonna fucking die. Badly, because the writer, he's a troll. And I don't mean in a green skin living under a bridge troll,
although
but
he kind of looks like one.
to be fair, he's more a fat troll than a bridge troll.
He is an angry elf.
He's angry. He is an angry mystical creature himself.
Yeah.
No, but he's a troll because I clearly feels like he creates these relationships between the reader and these characters, and then slightly just to snatch them away, just to put a literal stake through your heart. Like, hey, wow, this guy's really heroic. This guy's leader this guy's gonna be the real hero. Beheaded by the end of the first book. Like, holy fuck! It was Sean Bean. Because Sean Bean dies in everything. Sean Bean, you think he's the main character of the show. All right, he's bulletproof. He's not going to die. And then, like, episode 8 or 9, plop, you just see his head roll off, and you're like, okay, the show... I remember when that happened, I was like, this show's not fucking around. That was Sean Bean. I mean, Sean Bean's job is to die professionally.
Yeah.
But good God.
Yeah.
The show does not fuck around.
Wow.
And then now we're kind of in the midst of the end of the show. Because this is... they're doing this... They're pulling a Breaking Bad... Or a Mad Men. They're pulling an AMC, where instead of doing the last quote-unquote season, or I guess what would be considered the final book, because there were supposed to be like 7 books, 7 seasons, whatnot. It's gotten very muddled between the people who read the books and watch the show, because it's really because the show has actually gone further than the books. Because the writer of the books, he's notoriously slow. He writes the books at his own pace. He writes them on a computer that's older than us. It's like this old, like, Amiga computer. He's like, and he writes them very slow. Like, yeah, there's only there were supposed to be 7 books, and the last one that came out was book 5.
Oh, man.
There's still 2 more books that are supposed to come out, and the show is already going to be ending in the next 2 years. Well, because we get kind of half of a season. Instead of doing 13 episodes or 14 episodes, they're doing 7 right now. So everyone's gonna be really happy for about 7 weeks, and then we're gonna be really bitter until like next April when we get the last 6 episodes of all these plot lines are coming together and ending all at the same time. And there's a lot of like really ultra violent stuff that happens. So, like last night, there was some like for people who've been watching the show, like something really satisfying happened within the first 5 minutes. It was really great. I'm gonna try to stay away from spoilers. People get really freaking sensitive about Game of Thrones spoilers. So, like more so than anything else. Yeah. I've had people end friendships over freaking wow. over like you're an idiot who spoiled Game of Thrones. You are dead to me. Like, whoa, that escalated quickly. I mean, it really got out of hand.
Damn.
But yeah,
there's a spoiler. Everyone dies.
I mean, that's one of the catchphrases. Valor Morgulis, all men must die. Which makes me think. So everyone goes, oh, all men must die. That means a woman is going to win the Game of Thrones. But it's really cool. There's a lot of intense things. I think on some weird level you could enjoy it, but if you're not into swords and dragons and all kinds of ridiculousness,
he has a sword.
I do have a sword.
You do have a sword.
It's like a samurai sword.
That's different. That's more an anime thing.
That's true.
That's right. Someone paid you in a samurai sword once. That's right.
That's awesome. I want someone to pay me for like some kind of service with a samurai.
With a samurai sword.
I don't have money, Sam, but
I have this sword. Take my sword.
Like, and I want him to present it to me in the same way that the sword was presented to Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport.
What? On one knee with flat hands or something, or what?
No, the way that like his Shidoshi like gave him the sword. He had to earn the sword instead.
He had to earn the sword, but see, it's an insane show with a very fierce fan following, and another show with an insane fan following that got some big news this past weekend. Doctor Who.
Who?
Exactly. I'm sure you've heard that joke never before.
Never.
So there was a new doctor announced.
Yeah.
They announced the new doctor because the current doctor, Peter Capaldi, the really sarcastic doctor whom I really like.
Yeah.
I like him a lot, but he is leaving the show. He just
leaving the show because
it's 3 now. Like lately, it's just been like it's been 3. We don't call them seasons in England or in the UK. We call them series. He did 3 series, and now he is done with being the doctor.
Well, it usually happens like when the showrunner leaves.
Oh, that's right.
When they switch the showrunners, then they'll take their doctor with them. Like,
Yeah, because then the new person running the show wants their own doctors, their own stories they want to tell.
Apparently, he was saying that he doesn't. He feels like he doesn't want to do the same role over and over again. Like he does a bunch of different type of movies and stuff. So he was saying that he didn't want to get bored of it.
You don't want to get bored, get typecast.
Yeah, so he was just like, because he was a huge fan of the show, because he's one of those guys that when he got when they announced he was being cast, he was on some talk show, and they dug up like an old Doctor Who magazine, and a 12-year-old Peter Capaldi wrote a fan letter asking questions.
That's cool.
So he like loves the show. So that's what he basically said was like he doesn't want to get bored of it. Like he doesn't want to, so
he doesn't want it to become a job.
Yeah.
Which, no one ever wants that.
Yeah.
But so there was a lot of speculation of who the Doctor was going to be, and then a lot of people really wanted it to be a female Doctor, and lo and behold, a female Doctor was announced. Her name escapes me right now, but apparently she worked with the new showrunner on another series called Broadchurch. Yeah, she was the mother of the son who was murdered on that show.
And then everyone's posting about like Attack the Block, she was in that too.
Oh, was she? Holy shit! Oh, no wonder. Oh, Ryan Rios. I was thinking about D23 earlier today, and I was like, man, I missed out on hanging out with my buddy Ryan Rios at D23. Good to see you watching the show, my brother.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, we have this new Doctor Who, female Doctor. So, of course, what's funny? you think nerds would be more understanding and more, welcoming or...
cordial?
More cordial. You think people who've been marginalized their whole lives, you think they'd be really cool about stuff like this? Nah. Apparently, there's a shitload of misogynists, angry people. We've always had this discussion. Nerds do not like change.
They don't like change.
No.
There you go.
They do not like change. They're very averse. They want things. They want things to stay the same the entire time. They want what they like.
But what was it? They want things to stay the same, but then they complain. It's like, oh, it's the same thing. It's boring.
Nerds are a walking conundrum. As a nerd, I am a walking conundrum. But a lot of people, there was some salt. There was a lot of sexist, anti-woman salt.
Yeah.
Holy shit, a bunch of idiots were revealing themselves to be awful human beings.
Oh, we saw the same thing with Ghostbusters.
Oh, exactly. But now you get all these See, with Ghostbusters, I feel that was more of like a broad, a lot of broad regular morons who were like, oh, good God, women are just Ghostbusters, that can't work. But you think Doctor Who fans would be a lot more
sophisticated.
Yes, thank you. That's one of the words. Thank you so much, Sam. Sophisticated. You would think they'd be more sophisticated, but no.
They're angry.
Oh, what was the thing? Oh, it was like, the picture that you sent me. It was like a TARDIS full of bras. Like some hilarious Twitter user took a bunch of the awful Twitter responses and turned them into show titles. Like in the form like you see them on the show.
Yeah, that was the best.
That was the best of the bunch. A TARDIS full of bras.
The rest were just really bad.
The rest were like really sexist and awful.
Yeah.
That was the actual funny one.
Pretty funny.
And you would think these nerds would know better. The TARDIS already has had a lot of freaking bras because there's a bunch of female companions and they're always changing costumes. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Apparently in the UK, there's this thing that I guess it's a stereotype of it that women can't park cars. And all over the UK, people are like, "Oh, she's gonna crash the TARDIS."
Oh, for fuck's sake!
She can't park the TARDIS.
She can't park the TARDIS. Good God!
So there's a lot of that. I don't know, man. And then on the flip side, the funniest thing is that there's people that are happy that it's a female Doctor.
Yeah.
But they're still complaining. They're like, well, how you didn't get a person of color? Like,
hey, I'm saying they should have had, if they wanted to have someone to complain about the driving, you should have got an Asian woman.
Oh. Rest in peace. Oh, boy.
That would have lit up the internet in a heartbeat.
Woo! Hot sauce. Yeah. Oh, good God. Woo! Some heat coming from that general direction over there.
Oh, yeah.
From Mr. Sam Zia.
No, seriously, it seems like a lot of the people complaining about this are falling along stereotypical lines.
Yeah, exactly. It's really awful.
Really, if I actually posted this myself about Star Trek. Chekhov should be replaced, and it was something that our friend Jonah posted.
Yep, I saw that.
Chekhov should be replaced by someone who is marginalized the same way that people viewed when the character was created back in the day, how they viewed Russians.
Yes.
So they said they should get a Muslim woman
exactly
to take over
where they do not kill the Chekhov character. They
Yeah.
just transfer him to another base and then put another marginalized race in that same spot as just like as you just said,
Yeah.
Russians back in the 70s. Man, you get our Wessels.
And can you imagine the uproar if something like that actually
Oh,
happened?
if they put like a Muslim woman with a hijab as
God.
flying the ship, good God, white America would explode.
Oh, remember when the last movie came out? What was it? Sulu was gay, right? In the movie, he had a husband and he had a kid.
That's right.
And people lost their shit over that.
Like what? Sulu can't be gay?
Yeah.
Have you missed George Takei? Sorry.
I'm still waiting for a gay relationship between Poe and Finn.
That's something we've been discussing. People keep trying to ship characters. What? Two guys can't be bros?
Hey,
What? Are people going to try to ship you and me, Mr. Samzia? You're my bro. I love you, but I don't love you in a way that dare not speak its name.
that story isn't in this universe, in this realm. It's in a galaxy.
I know, but we don't have to ship. We don't have to ship bros,
That kind of
man.
relationship may be more accepted.
No, but we don't have. Can't just two guys be bros. We were reading about how in the DC comics, two of my favorite characters, Blue Beetle and Booster Gold, everyone wants to ship them now.
Yeah.
They're best friends, but because they're best friends, they have to have sex. Apparently, they
I don't know, man. That's a big thing now, right?
it's a big thing trying to ship all this stuff. The yaoi culture has infected everything else. This was totally an anime and manga.
Yeah.
You always try to ship, they're shipping Vegeta and freaking Goku and ship Ken and Ryu. Now it's all over the place. It's like, those relationships are acceptable, but don't force them on.
Yeah.
You can't just force like all of a sudden, two best friends just because they're best friends doesn't mean they want to get in each other's
That's
pants.
true.
But it doesn't mean that they don't want to get in each other's pants.
If that is a part of the plot, then that's okay. It's fine, but as long as it's a part of the plot, not just like
Yeah. So-
good God.
So what's your feeling on the female doctor?
I have no problem with the female doctor. I'm excited to see because this really goes a different direction. Because I feel like they've been setting this up for a while now. Ever since they turned the master character, another Time Lord, they flipped the gender on that one.
Yeah.
That was totally setting this up. This is not just a sudden decision that was made. Like, this is made because of the liberal agenda. I'm like, no, this is something they've already been planning. They got everybody kind of ready when they turned Master into Missy.
Yeah.
And now they have executed it, and now I feel like it's going to allow for some different storytelling.
Yeah.
Because we might get some of the traditional Doctor tropes, but where they flip them.
Yeah. Well, I think that's always the hardest part. You think being cast as a doctor, because you have to basically be this same person that's been on a show for 70 plus years.
You share all the memories of this character for who's been around forever.
Yeah, and so it's like I think it's just a hard character to play. In
general, because you've had these 13 personalities, 14 if you count the War Doctor. We got John Hart's Angry Doctor.
And so, but I think the thing is, people are going a little crazy, but I think regardless of who they would have announced, people would have.
Well, because there's an awesome infographic of every time a doctor is chosen, it's like when the new doctor's announced, oh fuck this person, I love my old doctor, and then once the actual series starts, like maybe he'll be okay, and then once they've already been entrenched, like I love this doctor, he's my favorite doctor, and then at the last one,
leaving like why?
No, don't leave. Irv turning in at the best time as usual. Hey, Irv, you have a knack of tuning in right when something ridiculous is happening. I don't see how this is a problem for you.
I mean, and this is one of the characters that they could actually do this.
Yeah.
I mean, when they make those arguments like, the next James Bond should be a female James Bond and stuff like that, I don't know. I always feel like, why do that? Just make a new character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a false argument when people say, we're gonna just have female everything. It's like, no, that's a false argument.
Yeah.
You're insane.
It's the only character I think that you could actually do it. You could actually and it works. It makes sense. It's part of the plot.
Yeah, because the Doctor will always change to what is necessary for what is next, and the story may require a female Doctor going forward for the next few series. The 2 to 3 series, not seasons, but 2 to 3 series. Because we are formal and sophisticated in the UK.
Exactly.
I enjoyed the last series. Now, going on from that, so this past weekend, holy crap, there was a lot of news.
Yeah.
If you were a fan of anything that falls under the umbrella of Disney, if you like Star Wars, if you like Marvel, if you like freaking Disney, period. If you like Disneyland, holy fuck. A whole lot of shit was announced this past weekend. You know, Disney had their, what is basically the Disney equivalent of Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. They had their D23 Expo. I had the fortune or misfortune of working one a few years ago, and it's pretty insane.
Yeah, it looks insane.
Because, you know, Disney fans, sometimes I feel those are the most hardest of hardcore people. Like, they don't just love Disney. Disney is their lives. It can be sometimes very terrifying. As I learned when I worked at the D23 show 4 years ago, some of these people, like, they are consumed with it. Yeah. I remember I was goofing around doing, like, I was giving away Toy Story posters. Like one of our good friends at the show, she had unearthed these old Toy Story posters, and I was like, oh, I can't just hand these out. People have to earn them. And I was like asking questions, and people like in line were like trying to point out all the technical, like anything. If I was even like partially wrong about something, they were just on top of my shit. They're like, whoa, relax. I'm just doing a game here. You want me to just throw these out in front of everyone? Nah, you got to prove that you know your shit.
Yeah.
And these people are insane.
Oh, man.
But aside from that, a lot of stuff happened. I think one of the things that I thought was pretty insane was they announced the formal name of the Star Wars sections of the theme parks that are happening both Disneyland and Walt Disney the Magic Kingdom, like in the Hollywood Studios. It was like Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's really cool. Like when you go, like everything is gonna be connected. Like when you ride the Millennium Falcon, you actually control the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
And if you drive well, cool. If you drive poorly, there will be a bounty hunter looking for you as you're walking around the park, wondering why you screwed up the Millennium Falcon.
Wait, what?
Yes, a bounty hunter will follow you after you leave the ride.
What?
They're going with a totally immersive experience now.
I'm never gonna leave.
Right?
I will purposely drive it badly.
Same here.
And then try
Same.
Confrontation.
Exactly. I want to crash the Millennium Falcon. I want some bounty hunter to come after me for, you owe us credits for crashing that ship, you jerk. Oh, I want it so bad.
I
will find the $1,000, or I'm sure by then, by 2019, the $1,200 I will need to get my annual pass back.
It'll be worth it.
For that, if they deliver on what they're saying on this experience that they're going to have at Disneyland and at the Magic, I will pay for that freaking annual pass, and I will make time to go as much as I used to back when it was still cheaper or more affordable to go. But it's insane. But the second thing they announced, I think is bigger. They're making a Star Wars resort.
Yeah.
Where you will have a personalized storyline for you.
What?
Yes. It's literally a real life Westworld. But you will travel to a galaxy far, far away, and you will have something tailored to you. Right? I think Sam just got a giant erection and just came a little. 'Cause this is insane. I can imagine, whenever this opens, you, Maria, Lily, and JoJo are going to take a family vacation to wherever they put this freaking resort. I don't know where they're putting it. That's the one. Like, I was like, where the fuck is this going to be? I want to go to there.
I'm telling you, Lily is going to lose her mind. Maria is going to lose.
Yeah, your whole family.
Yeah,
your whole family is going to freaking go nuts. The other one, like, depending on how old JoJo is, whenever that comes around, he may be the only one who doesn't lose his shit, but he may lose your shit watching you guys lose your shit.
Oh yeah.
It is insane. I was totally excited as soon as they announced this whole like crazy theme park. Wow, nuts! Just like that to me, that was probably the biggest thing they announced. Out of anything in that D23. It's the Galaxy's Edge, the whole, like, as soon as you enter, like, it's not like Fantasyland or freaking Tomorrowland. No, you go in and you're in a world. You are supposed to be immersed. Like, I don't know how they're going to get away with selling food. Like, oh, have Space Coke or something, you know?
Space Coke.
Like, that's the only thing that can take you out of the immersion. But but they start selling blue milk. I'm down.
Yeah.
I have a Wookiee churro and shit.
Oh, Wookiee churro.
Wookiee churro. That's a band name.
Yeah.
Yeah, this churro's a little rough. You can say it's a little chewy. And that's why I'm the host. It's insane. Like for Star Wars nerds, this is amazing. This is the probably I think that's the best news to come out of it. The actual theme park is gonna sounds amazing. The actual friggin' this resort that they announced. It's insane. Oh, one of the things they're gonna have in the galaxy. One of the little things that I appreciate because this is. I frequently get in discussion with some people like, why do you go to Disneyland so often? I used to go almost on a weekly basis. And people are, why do you keep going? What's the point? No, because they do little things. Yeah. Like the famous quote of Walt Disney back when it opened. Like, Disneyland will never be finished. They're always making changes. They're always adding things. There's always little things going on where if you visit it once and if you visit it once and you visit it 5 years later, there's going to be changes. There's going to be stuff that's going to be different. Yeah. And then for me that they always have these little things like so there's a little thing in the new Star Wars thing where the old Star Tours had a crappy pilot.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
had a little crappy pilot, and then he like in the new version of Star Tours, like he's like inside of a box somewhere. You hear him randomly. So in this new Star Wars land, he's gonna be like working as a DJ in whatever bar or whatever most Isley. So the old pilot from Star Tours is gonna be the DJ in this place.
We got to go to that Scum and Villainy Cantina, by the way, while it's still open.
I've heard of it. For whatever reason, I weirdly don't see the appeal. I don't know. So many of my friends have gone. I've seen so many of my friends check in from there. I don't know. Is it literally supposed to be like Mos Eisley?
Yeah.
Where like if someone tries to walk into the droid, the bartender yells at you or something? Or
that's why you got to walk in with an iPhone.
Ha! Damn it.
I so into that.
I stumbled. I didn't just walk into that. I stumbled, fell face first, landed on the landmine, and exploded into that joke. Good Lord! Holy crap! Yeah. Well played, sir.
Thank you.
Well played. That was amazing. That was a great joke. Holy shit! I am totally thrown off. Other stuff that was announced. A lot of the feature film stuff was announced.
Yeah.
So there was a lots of different panels. There's one in particular. The live action panel was supposed to be really big, but I'm going to save that for last. No. We got more details about Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yeah. That's all.
Ralph Breaks the Internet. So the first movie was very much about merging all these like classic video games all together. Where apparently in the second movie, Disney is like, to quote my roommate, Disney has said, fuck it, and they're just merging everything together. Like, sort of in the way Disney Infinity, like, oh, all of a sudden you can play Star Wars with Disney and with frickin' Marvel.
Wow.
They're crossing the streams.
With everything.
With everything. So the scene that they showed during the panel was apparently they're gonna have all the Disney princesses,
the original ones,
like all the OG Disney, like all the Disney princesses who still, like, even going back to like freaking Cinderella, all the ones that are still around, and all the current ones. Apparently, there's a scene in the movie where all the princesses are being escorted around by stormtroopers, and they have their special place in the internet somewhere where they're all hanging out together. And so Penelope von Schweetz, she's a princess from the first, like, the character from the first movie. She's a princess. So she goes in and hang out with them, and it's just hilarious. Like, there's like, as soon as she walks in, like Merida from Brave pulls out a bow and arrow. Whichever one has a sword. I'm not sure if it was one of them has a sword. Pull the sword out. And then this was my favorite part. I didn't read about this. My roommate told me about this because he went to the panel as well. Cinderella, she takes off her glass slipper, breaks it like a bottle, and points the broken glass slipper at Penelope. I died. I was like, whoa, my God.
That's hilarious.
Cinderella breaks her freaking glass slipper like a bottle. And like, no, let's go.
That's awesome.
And there's all kinds of hilarious stuff where they're like, you're not a princess. They're like, oh, have you ever done this? And then I think at the very end, when a man arrived, did everybody think your problems were over? That was the line that broke me. I was like, all right, this is going to be, they're not fucking around. And then apparently C-3PO is like their handler.
Awesome.
And then princesses are fucking with them. They're like, oh, thanks, R2-D2. Oh, don't call him that. You know he doesn't like to be called that. Thank you, BB-8. Wow. And then 3PO is like, oh, they told me this would be easy. They said you're used to dealing with princesses.
pretty good.
Just so if just this small taste is like if this is what we're getting out of this like Wreck-It Ralph 2, I can't wait for this full movie.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound like it's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
When it's like melding all the universe because Ralph breaks the internet. Apparently, they somehow leave the arcade and go onto the internet and chaos ensues. I can't wait. Even though this is not coming out to like next holiday, like it's like we're calling it like
this is the game or the movie Pixel wishes it was.
right? Exactly. Oh no, there's another great line like where Merida from Brave, she's talking and her accent gets really really thick and no one can understand her. And then one of the princes go, she's a princess from that other studio.
Oh.
Little dig at Pixar. It's just amazing. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Another movie where apparently they showed a lot more footage, and I'm hoping that I can find some because I really haven't done a lot of research. Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
The big.
I read about that. That sounds.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Incredibles that's always been one of my favorite Pixar
Yeah,
movies.
that's such a good movie. Man.
I mean, the most faithful adaptation of the Fantastic Four ever done. like real talk.
Seriously. That's
Like-
no joke, actually.
Like they pull down Fox's pants and be like, send him off walking like a penguin. Like, no, this is how you do a Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
Right here. Good God. Apparently this Incredibles 2 picks up exactly where Incredibles 1 left off, where I am the Underminer! So John Ratzenberger probably gets a bigger role than he's normally used to, other than just being a one-liner. Yeah, everyone, yes. Scott on Facebook Live, yes, everyone has been waiting for The Incredibles 2. I don't understand what the holdup was. I mean, I understand Pixar didn't really like to do sequels, but I think as part of this new deal between Disney and Pixar, I was like, hey, we'll let you make all the crazy shit you want, but you got to pump out some sequels for us. Like, every other movie, it's got to be... I always reference... I feel like every 3-4 weeks, I reference this scene from the scene from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back of like Matt Damon talking to Ben Affleck. First, you got to make your art flick, then you got to make this, and then, as like Pixar has to keep doing. They get to do their art flick. They get to do the Day of the Dead one, which caused a lot of controversy because Disney tried to trademark Day of the Dead. Fuck Disney! You can't trademark everything. So they get to make their art flick.
Try.
Yeah, I'm sure they tried.
Oh, they did try.
No, they did try. Oh yeah, they tried, and there was a humongous backlash. Our friend Patrick Martinez, he's all over that on the internet. He's like, fuck them, fuck this movie, fuck them for fucking with our culture. And so Pixar, they got to do the art flick, and then they get to do their payback flick, and then you do art flick, and they got to do their money flick. They got to sell out, do Cars 3, then they can do frickin' they can do whatever this movie is called. Oh. Got to get to do Good Dinosaur? Nope. You got to give us Finding Dory. So now it's like every other movie. So every other movies are artistic, flex their creative muscles, and then Incredibles 2. But honestly, how have we not gotten Incredibles 2 by now?
It's been a long.
It's been that was like 2005, 2006.
That was such a good movie, man.
So I want to go home and rewatch it.
Yeah.
Just talking about it right now makes me want to go home and rewatch it. And one of my favorite Pixar characters of all time, Frozone. Frozone. I mean, for obvious reasons. Yeah. Woman, where's my super suit? I mean, the fact that we're probably going to get more Frozone makes me so happy.
Yeah, right.
We have to have more Frozone. Like, whenever I'd walk around Disney California Adventure, like, Frozone would walk around. And my friend D-Luck would like, oh no, here it comes. Woman, where's my... I would yell it out at the top of my lungs. I'm needed for the greater good. I'm the greatest good you ever got.
I love when she tells him that he just looks so defeated. He's just like,
So amazing. I can only imagine.
How defeated do you think the person in the suit feels when you do that?
I don't know. Honestly, I can't be the only one. I can't be the only crazy person who's yelling out, "Where's my super suit?" Whenever that poor Frozone was walking around Disney's California Adventure. I can't be the only crazy pants on head crazy person doing that. And so we got that. But I think the biggest thing, especially in regards to us here. Yeah. Andre's Geek Philosophy. The biggest thing that came out of was the footage of Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
My roommate camped out overnight to watch this. With a bunch of other people. And but that I did not. I was working. But I read the synopsis of what happened. Holy fuck.
Yeah, this is going to be a big movie.
Shit is going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to kill a bunch of Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
There is no way we are getting out of this movie whoever's contract is up,
They're out.
they're going to be out. They're going to be dead.
It'll be like The Purge.
Yeah, honestly, because like every Marvel villain, every Marvel hero is going to be in this. Pretty much almost every single one. It sounds like just from the, and then they added a bunch of villains. They added
Was it the Black Order?
the Black Order.
Yeah.
That's something. If you had told me, even 5 years ago, like how long ago was that Infinity? That Infinity story that happened. That Black Order, like Thanos' freaking like death crew, that would be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I would have said you were crazy. There's no way. There's no way we're gonna get Proxima Midnight,
Yeah, Proxima Midnight.
Corvus Glaive, as a part of the movie universe. And D23, they had these 4 statues. Everybody thought it was gonna be like, oh, Iron Man, Cap, Thor, and Hulk. Nope. Turned out, boom, it was the freaking Black Order. And then you had freaking the gentleman who's playing. His name is freaking escaping me right now. Who's playing Thanos?
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin. He was there like signing autographs in the Thanos post, and then like behind him the 4 statues, and the fifth statue of Thanos standing there.
They have that big replica of the Infinity Gauntlet. Mm-hmm. It's all huge.
This giant Infinity Gauntlet. And yeah, just if you as we were discussing as we were driving over to the studio, I really hope that footage. Selfishly, I kind of hope that footage gets released.
Yeah.
I really want to see all the craziness.
We'll see, man. Hopefully, I mean, unfortunately, I feel like realistically, we're probably gonna see anything about Thor. You know, because they're saying maybe it'll get released during Comic-Con, but
what, a trailer or that footage?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe because I don't think. Well, we did get a Black Panther trailer before freaking Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that there will be a Avengers trailer before Ragnarok, but more realistically, it might be closer to when Black Panther comes out in February, when we'll get a proper Infinity War trailer. But it was funny when I first read about this. I'm like, okay, I'm at peace. I did not get to go. I don't need to see this. But then, as my roommate was describing, like Thanos is grabbing pieces of the moon and throwing them at the Avengers. I was like, shit, I really want to see this. I don't want to get too hyped up, but good God, it sounds insane.
And I think
Captain America with a beard.
Yeah, and he's not in the Captain America suit.
Yeah, he's like in the
Nomad.
Is he Nomad?
That's what they're saying.
I could have sworn I saw someone with I saw like a screenshot, or I don't know, man, it might have been. It looked like he was wearing the Winter Soldier suit or the star, but maybe he's Nomad. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
All I know is that we have Cap with a beard.
Yeah. And there's like I saw a screenshot of Loki on one knee giving Thanos the Tesseract.
The Tesseract? Oh, goddamn Loki. Good God.
That's himself, man. That's himself.
Hey, man, you gotta look out for number 1.
You know what? It's funny because it's the smallest detail, but like the description of Doctor Strange making platforms for freaking Star-Lord to jump on to fight, like that just sounded so cool.
I know. God, it's the little things, man.
Yeah.
It's the little things. For some of us nerds, that's what's most important to us.
Yeah.
You can be something as dumb as a parademon flying across the sky in Batman vs Superman. They make nerds like you and me happy.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, and it still holds up. I watched the first Avengers recently.
Mm-hmm.
That first shot, the 3 of them together, Cap and Iron Man and Thor. You're just like, oh wow.
Like this is a thing.
This is cool. Like,
oh, this is amazing. Can't wait. Oh, this Infinity War. I keep like, honest. I don't know how they will continue from here after this. Well, after this, and then the now untitled Avengers movie of like 2019, where it will be the summation of this entire Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Like where
the subtitle on this one's going to be The Death of Ant-Man.
No, because the movie right after freaking the movie right after Infinity War is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Not I mean the untitled one.
The untitled one, or is it? Is it next year? Ant-Man and Wasp?
Yeah.
Or is that the July movie?
That's the July one, yeah.
Good God! Also, then there won't be no more Marvel movies until the following year, then, because they front loaded 2018 then.
Yeah, no.
Or are there going to be 4 Marvel movies next year?
No, yeah, no, I don't think there'll be any more. I think after that is what, Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel, is that like February 2019 or something? Or the March 2019? Yo, what's up, Bushy? Bushy has joined us on Facebook Live. What up?
Well, she's supposed to show up too, right?
Yeah, she's supposed to be good old Brie Larson.
Yeah.
I loved how, what do you call it? Like she was doing research in the
car.
She had like the hoodie on
Yeah.
and reading a Captain Marvel book. Oh, insane. So there's so much going on. I'm sure there's more that I could have gotten into.
It's gonna be huge, man. It's gonna be. I don't know, man. And then see the new logo, the new Marvel Studios logo.
Oh, with the 10, because it's been 10 years. It'll be 10 years when when Infinity War comes out. That'll be 10 years since Iron Man 1 had come out in 2008.
Yeah.
Fucking A, dude.
Yeah.
You've had 10 years of good Marvel movies.
Yeah, that's insane.
Oh, right here. TL Reeve on Facebook Live. It would have been awesome if Josh Brolin signed Thanos posters with a Cable autograph. Because Josh Brolin is also playing Cable in the Deadpool movie next year.
Did you see those that leaked? They were filming in Canada, and I guess and someone.
Oh, really?
And there's a picture of Josh Brolin running around with and I think his costume's gonna be like motion capture or whatever.
Right.
But he's got the motion capture arm thing, and then he's got this big blue chunk all over his face. So I think we're getting like that whole '90s like.
Oh, we're totally in 90s Cable.
Yeah, like,
oh, that's awesome.
Like half his face is metal and like.
Ha! Oh wow, we are getting Rob Liefeld Cable.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I wonder how they're going to explain away his or I don't. You know what? I'm sure they got it figured out. I mean first Deadpool delivered, so
yeah.
I am completely confident that the second one will be as fun.
They're even gonna have. Do you think they're even gonna talk about like,
the fact that he's Cyclops' son?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still under Fox, so
yeah. I mean, but
it's not like they're breaking any crossover rules.
No. No, I just feel like if he showed up in an X-Men movie, that would be important. If it's a Cable movie, I think no one really cares.
The only reason people care is because it's in this Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
Oh, too much gas. Oh.
Oh, right.
Ooh, that last drink. Oof. Woosah. I'm a professional. Yeah. Look how professional I am. So, I believe you have a funny story to tell us. Before we go. See, Pete Molini here works at a comic book store. As I frequently say, like you were my Padawan, and now you are the master. Where I used to work at the comic shop. Yeah. And you would come and buy comic books from me. Now the student has become the master. Now I buy comic books from you.
Yeah.
And now you get to experience the delights of dealing with crazy customers. And he does frequently post about this.
I do.
On the nostalgic books and comics.
No, I put it on my own Facebook.
You put it on your own Facebook.
Oh,
you're afraid a customer will actually see some of these stories of like.
Everyone always tells me like, "Oh, you should write this stuff down." I'm like. They'll figure it out. As
daft as some of these customers can be, I'm sure they can figure out when they're the moron in question.
Yeah.
But you told us a story during the pre-show meeting that executive producer Sam Zia insisted that you need to share with us.
Yes.
On the show, so. I'm giving the floor to you.
Oh, okay.
Tell us about the story of what happened today at the show.
So the story is in San Gabriel.
Yes, San Gabriel. For those of you who do not know, it's a predominantly Asian area.
There you go, exactly. And when we first opened up, I mean, you remember this. There was a wall of manga.
Giant wall
of manga.
Little tiny books that you had to read from right to left instead of left to right.
And they just sat there. Like we had like a handful of customers that would actually buy from that wall. And eventually, I just got rid of it.
Yeah, you moved it. You're like it was taking up space. So like normal comic books that we're gonna sell.
Exactly.
You were being a businessman.
Yeah. So we eventually got rid of it, and then it's just like anything else. You have something forever, no one cares. The minute you get rid of it,
people want it.
People want it.
Yeah, that is the story of retail.
Yeah. So occasionally, something like what happened today happens. This guy walks in. And he declares that he's Chinese.
He actually told you, I'm Chinese.
Yeah.
He had to let you know.
I'm picturing him walking in with the door open and just says, "Excuse me, everybody, I'm Chinese."
It's like Black Dynamite. I'm Black Dynamite.
And he starts asking me about manga.
Okay.
And I tell him, no, we don't carry it anymore, but I can special order stuff for you, but we don't carry it anymore. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He's all, "You're in San Gabriel. He says, us Chinese. Like, so you wrapped everybody.
This is a quotation. Yeah. These are not the thoughts and views of Pete Molini. These are an actual quotation of a customer.
And he goes, us Chinese, we love manga. It's in our culture, And it took me back for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, is it manga Japanese?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And I asked him that. I go, is it manga Japanese? And he said, don't be racist, bro.
Don't be racist. I guess manga comes from all over the world. I don't know. I always assumed that manga and anime, those are, that's from Japan. That's what I learned when I was, 15. And this dude, don't be racist, man.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
How is that racist?
I don't understand how describing the origin of something is racist.
I mean, I could be wrong, but isn't manga a Japanese word?
That's always what I'm under the assumption that is a Japanese word.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I'm sure the Facebook police will let us know right away when we fuck up. If our good friend Kiet Pham is watching right now, I'm sure he will tell us immediately if we are wrong.
Yeah.
I can always count on him to correct me whenever I speak out of school. But yeah, I've always been under the manga is that's a Japanese term. Scott here on Facebook Live. Don't insult his Chinese samurai heritage. Oh, my show contributor Irv Deniputapa chimes in. It's definitely Japanese.
Okay.
Thanks for the clarification.
Thank you. Irv Deniputapa. He is a show contributor. He's always sending me stuff that I should talk about on the show. And there's stuff I've been saving. Oh gosh. I'm saving. There he is, Kiet Pham. Manga is a Japanese term, but it's kind of everywhere. I mean, yes, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. The root of the word, it's like, it's manga. The Japanese for comic book. I'm assuming. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Manga, anime as animation. Ta-da! Motion.
But yeah. So that's like my everyday life.
I really loved. I loved the story that you posted the other day, where the guy came in looking for. He had a list of comic books.
Yeah.
They're all very hot property comic books, like stuff that's like above cover price.
Yeah.
And like you're like, all right, okay, you go through the list and you don't have any of them, and then you pull out the one you do have. It was like X-Men Gold, and it was a very controversial.
Yeah, very controversial.
There's some sort of controversy with it. I don't know what it is, so I'm not going to get into it. And you're at $15. It was $15. That's how much it's going for on eBay. I'm trying to sell these on eBay.
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to sell these at cover price?
Yeah.
No.
Isn't that against the rules?
Yeah, are you even allowed to charge more for these?
Are you even allowed? This guy clearly does not know that supply and demand applies to all businesses. Not only the people who are trying to profit on eBay, but it just amazes me like the some of these people, man, just like they have no common sense. That are nerds. I mean, it goes back to that conversation we had earlier. A lot of people who are nerds, just because you're a nerd doesn't mean you're sophisticated or you're smart or you have common sense. They're not always together.
No, they're not.
Sometimes they can be mutually exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 'cause you remember back then when like something big would happen, just like someone you would never see before walking in the store asking for it. Mm-hmm. You're just like, why do you want this? Like, oh, it's on the internet.
It's on the internet. Also, but you know what? I hate to say, the majority of the time I was a comic book clerk was kind of pre-internet or like freaking early internet. So I got people trying to resell shit, trying to take it over to Frankenstein's and resell it, or like eBay was kind of like barely a thing. It was like near the time when the first owner almost sold the store. I remember he had started eBay and stuff. I remember that was kind of like a new thing.
There wasn't a Beckett for comic books?
Yeah, there was. The Wizard.
Yeah, the Wizard.
Oh, the Wizard.
The Wizard. Well, yeah, no, but there wasn't an internet to like. That's thinking because it's so easy to resell something now. Like back in those days, you had to go to a show if you want to flip something. You had to find a comic book show, and then there was a weekly comic show, or there still is, over in Walnut, California, called Frankenstein's. But nowadays, like anyone can be a reseller now. Anybody, and so you have all these geniuses running through stores trying to find all these rare things and try to flip them to make and get money, right? It's just like, I didn't experience it till I'm sure like to the degree that you probably see it now. It's like, oh my god, it must be out of hand. All these morons coming in like, oh, I'm supposed to try to make $15 off this. What the hell, man?
I remember last year they did this Ninja Turtles issue where Donatello died,
Oh, right.
and everyone made a big deal about it. And I didn't even know about it until the next day, Thursday. I found out about it Thursday morning. I walk in, and there's this guy waiting in front of the store. He walks in, and he just grabs them all. And he's like, "Oh, take these, please." And I'm like, "No, you aren't."
No, sorry, bro.
Never seen this dude before.
You have made your intentions very obvious,
Yeah.
and no. Nostalgic Books and Comics does not supply resellers here, sir.
But yeah, so it's
Ah, the life, man. The life of being a nerd. Sometimes it is insane.
it's a tough one, man.
It is a weird life, and then it's crazy how all these people are now getting themselves into it
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form. Oh, Scott. Yes, apparently Donatello died in the comic books. Because it's comic books.
He's back.
He's back. Yeah, he's back. So Scott on Facebook, don't worry. It's comic books. No one stays dead unless your name is Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm sure there's some writer out there who wants to figure out a way. I'm going to bring Uncle Ben back to life.
He's gonna be a bad guy. Like,
So, all right. So on that ridiculous note, we're going to shut it down for the night. We're gonna go get ourselves some ridiculous dinner. We're gonna go fill ourselves with Chronic Tacos.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. And Chronic Tacos is not a sponsor, but they should be. For executive producer Sam Zia.
Hi,
For
Mom.
judgmental nerd Pete Molini. I am your host Ray Cervantes. Remember, you can always follow us on Twitter at SamZ570, at Nostalgic Books and Comics. Nostalgic _. I always fuck his up. Every time. I'm at Dre GP Podcast. If you're listening to this on iTunes, you can follow our Facebook page at facebook.com/Dre GP Podcast. And you can watch us on Twitch. Nobody watches on Twitch today because we finally got it back up and running. Twitch.tv/Dre GP Podcast as Sam Zia cleans my head. Thank you so much for all of you who watched the show tonight. We appreciate everyone who watches it. Have a good night. Peace. Damn it, Sam.
Who's Doctor Who?
This is the crack staff that works here. Crack staff. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday for Multiverse Comic Show.